Hi there, my name is Phixfox and welcome to Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era. Today's video is going to cover the Arcane School of Magic that you will find in Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era. We've already gone over the daylight magic spells. In a future video we will go over primal spells, and then in another in the nightshade spells. But for now, let's take a look at the spells you will find in the School of Arcane Magic. Arcane Magic is all about providing you with tools as a spellcaster that will open up additional battle strategies for you, and ultimately it will bend the rules of the game to your every beck and call. And starting off, we're going to have the Energy Explosion spell. This is an AoE damaging spell which will do damage based off of the number of focus charges that you currently have at the time that you cast it. As you increase the value of this spell, you are going to get additional damage per focus charge. Good damaging spell, especially in the early game. Next up, we're going to have the Early Start spell. Early Start is going to increase the initiative of a target-friendly creature by a certain amount. This amount is going to increase with the levels that you give to this spell, and this is going to help you go earlier in the battle's turn order. Next up, we're going to have the Energize spell. Energize is going to restore focus charges to your hero. So as you can see, currently I've only got a couple of points down here, but if I am to use the Energize spell, at first it will take you up +1 focus charge, and at this max level it will restore 3 focus charges to your hero, allowing you to do things like Heroic Strike and letting your units do abilities that they would like to do. That's going to take us to the end of the Tier 1 spells. Now on to the Tier 2 spells. We're going to start off with this Temporal Spheres Trap spell. This is going to allow you to place down a certain number of traps on the battlefield, and when a creature steps on it, they are going to take pure damage and deal that pure damage to all of the creatures in a surrounding area. As you level up the spell, you're going to level up the damage and the number of traps that you can place. This is invisible to the enemy, but this is visible to you as the player. Next up, we're going to have the Blink spell, one of the greatest spells of all time. Blink is going to allow you to move a selected creature for a certain amount of hexes down the battlefield, anywhere on the battlefield that is an open space. You can move the hero, or rather the unit there. This can go across walls, wherever you so desire, and as you level up the spell, the teleportation range is going to get pretty nuts, pretty out of control. Look how far I can go. That seems unfair. I love it. I love it so much. Next up is going to be the Optical Illusion spell. This is going to reduce the damage that your units take from ranged creatures. So starting off, it's going to be 20% damage. As you level it up, that damage reduction is going to go up to 40%, and then it will also apply not only to ranged damage, but also long reach damage, things like grave robbers, things like these troglodytes. And as you get this to the top tier, it's going to affect all your troops instead of just one selected stack. Next up, we're going to have the Shackle spell. Going into the Tier 3 spells for Arcane Magic, we're going to have the Shackle spell. Shackles is going to take the target enemy and make sure that they cannot counter attack. Now, it's going to, as you level up, potentially affect all of the adjacent creatures to the target, sort of like what we saw with the Energy Explosion area of effect. You're going to be able to affect lots of creatures with this, and as you level up the spell, it is going to have a ability to dismiss, or rather dispel, the Riposte spell from the Daylight School of Magic. So good spell if you want your enemies to not be able to attack you and respond. After that, in the Tier 3 spells, we have the Carapace spell. This is where a target-friendly creature will receive a barrier that will block certain amounts of instances of damage. If you get Carapace up to a level 3 spell, then it's going to block damage not once, but twice. So really cool spell. We're going to let these troglodytes hit us. I hope that we don't retaliate and kill all 69 of them. Let's hope for the best. No damage to me, and the whole stack didn't die. Perfect. Everything that we wanted just happened right there. Next up, we have the Impending Fate spell. This is going to deal damage based off of what tier of creature the enemy is. So, for example, these troglodytes are a Tier 1 creature. Tier 1 creatures right now are going to take 25 damage from this spell. If my Abyssal Envoys were on the other side, though, it would be 25 times 7. They are Tier 7 creatures. They would take more damage based off of their tier. So as we cast this spell, I'm expecting only a few of these troglodytes to die. Yes, 25 damage, 3 troglodytes. Not too bad. Not too bad. Right now, we are on to the Tier 4 spells. This is going to be the Guillotine spell. Guillotine is going to do a percentage of the enemy target's maximum hit point as magic damage. As you cast additional guillotines to that target, you will be doing 100% bonus damage. So you're going to be able to stack the damage. Multiple casts is going to do more damage and more damage and more damage. And when the target enemy stack is below 25% of its original number, you will finish off that stack. So it really is kind of a nice coup de grace sort of spell for your enemies. Next up in the tier 4 spells, we have ourselves the Spatial Snare Trap. You're going to be able to place a certain number of traps on the battlefield, and the idea is that if an enemy walks through that trapped area, then they will end their turn on that trapped hex. Unfortunately, I think that this is either currently bugged or currently still in the works. Right now, I've seen lots of enemies really be able to just kind of walk through these traps. And then it's not until the very next turn that they walk through the trap, and then they don't have a turn at that point. So we're going to see if these troglodytes are going to be nice to us and do anything. Aha. Oh, there you go. So this is actually working as intended. In the past, I've seen this not work as intended. It's nice to see this working as intended. Moving on, we have everybody's favorite. This is going to be Rewind Life, which is going to be a certain sort of resurrect of sorts for you. So this is going to restore hit points of a certain amount based off of spell power, based off of base level of casting. And then if you heal more than your creatures have in the army, then they will restore any fallen units. Right now, I've not gone below my 3 Abyssal Envoys. I've got a little bit of damage here. I could cast this spell. I will get up to 250 hit points. It's not going to give me a 4th Abyssal Envoy. It's only going to take me up to the maximum amount of creatures I had to start off with. But we're not going to cast this right now. Seems like it's a waste of spell points. We only got about 51 left and many spells to go through. So moving on, we have the Mirror Copy. Mirror Copy is going to summon a copy of the target friendly creature. It's like a mirror image from Heroes 3 or Heroes 2, and it will, at the lower levels, take more damage and deal reduced damage. And as you get this spell upgraded and better, it's going to do more damage, and the damage it takes is going to be reduced to just normal levels. So a really cool spell. It's really nice to see some of these creatures, like these Abyssal Envoys, you can create a whole stack out of thin air with this mirror image sort of spell. Really love that. We're going to hold off on casting that for the moment. And then we have a few more spells. We got 3 more spells to go. I want to make sure I get to cast a couple of them. So Black Hole, we are not going to cast for this reason. It will absolutely destroy this stack of 21 troglodytes. It's too powerful, it's too strong, but it is a damaging spell. It's an AoE damaging spell, and look at the radius on this. Look how big this is. And so the point is that if you cast this spell, all units that are caught in this hex are going to be brought towards the very center tile in which you cast this black hole. So they're going to take damage, and then they're going to be drawn up to 2 hexes kind of towards the very center of this spell, making this not only a damaging spell, but also a repositioning spell. If I cast this here, troglodytes will be pulled backwards, and given that that would kill them, it's maybe not that big of a deal. Maybe in fact you can use this to pull units through some other traps. There's a couple of different traps you have here. Of course, we've noted not 1 but 2. So black hole repositioning could be pretty nifty for you. Moving on, we have the Reality Distortion spell. This spell is going to be kind of interesting. The target creature is going to take no damage, but at the beginning of the next turn of damage, they're going to end up taking the damage that they would have taken at a little bit of a reduced rate, and it's going to be coming down as pure damage, not as magic damage, not as physical damage, nothing that can be reduced in any sort of way. So it is going to buy you some time before you take the damage, but also it's going to allow you to dodge some amounts of damage, which is really kind of cool, kind of nice that you get to kick the can down the road and watch the damage roll in later. Next up, we have ourselves the Dorth's Tide. This is going to provide +1 speed and initiative to your friendly creatures. And as it's also on the battlefield, it's going to have another effect. So your forces are going to be faster and higher initiative, and all enemy forces are going to be -1 speed, -1 initiative. As you level the spell up, it is going to be able to also dispel negative movement restricting effects from your creatures. Things like webs, things like that. Anything that's going to like slow you down, it's going to get rid of all of those negative effects. And all positive movement enhancing effects from enemies, like the hastes and such, those are all going to be out of the way too. So Dorth's Tide is a big game-changing sort of spell. Really nice to see this one in effect. Yes, troglodytes are really way far down on speed and initiative, and I am way up on speed and initiative. Very good. And so, just to make sure that we haven't missed any other spells, unfortunately, again, we're not going to be able to cast this mirror copy, but just trust me, you see this one Abyssal Envoy here, there would be two. There are a few of the adventure map spells here. We do have two of them. In the second tier, we have the reinforcement spell. That's going to allow you to interact with an external dwelling that the hero controls. It's really pretty cool. As you level it up, you're going to be able to use it additional times per day. You're going to be able to see further and not get as close to the dwelling in order to interact with it. And then in the tier 3 spells, we have Assemble, which is really cool because, again, it's going to allow you to, from afar, interact with something. This time, it's not going to be an external dwelling. You will be able to interact with an allied hero. And so, multiple uses, multiple times, being able to interact from afar, this could be the spell that allows your one hero to be the true ultimate glue guy for the rest of your forces.